revisiting my dreams with the king.
Oh my.
Calling all my people, everybody near. Heading to the promised land, everybody here. Afro, 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 Afro frontier. Afro, 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 Afro frontier. Calling all my people, everybody near. Heading to the promised land, everybody here. Afro, 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 Afro frontier. Afro, 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 Afro frontier.
Step up, step right, front back, left right, stay up, eyes up, rise up, stay right. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Pack your bags and let's go. Come on, jump on the train. Here's the cold word you know. Afro.
Lord, what a difference that a day could make. Now I see the beauty when I switch up my mindset. Examine your ways, he's showing me plays to make
That's gonna be it's probably be out by the time we had a song called "As the World Turns," and just to show the respect of what we have for each other is we did a mix, and the mix came out amazing. But some of the vocals at the very end, the singer Latori Wilder is a group, a husband and wife team called the Wilders, and her vocals were her vocals were just a little bit high, but everything else was perfect. And I was like, I'm not dropping this until Verbs gets his final say. And we have a final say on dropping the music, lyrics, ideas. We drop everything. And I waited. I waited a week, 2 weeks, so he can get back and say, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Let's finish it.
It's dope that it's mutual like that. And it's like, as excited as you are, you're like, and it might be ready to you, but there's no I in team.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're like, until he say we good,
then it ain't good.
It ain't good.
It ain't ready. Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
He's like, until Petty says
Yeah.
it's ready, we ain't ready yet.
Right.
That's dope, man. That's what makes a solid group. I just showed y'all this hoodie, Harriet Tubman, and this was one of your first singles from the first EP.
Yeah.
What inspired this song, Harriet Tubman? Because I believe you all released it like right before Black History Month,
yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was the first single. And
so what inspired that and the video? And even in the video, like, I think you had a female rapper.
Yes.
Right? So talk to us about that.
We felt it. First of all, I'm real big on female MCs that's like really bringing it, because the mainstream says that the female empowerment is they can only be powerful if they take their clothes off, and that's not fair.
No,
that's not fair, because it's music. It is a music. There's amazing, thought-provoking MCs out there, female MCs, and I didn't feel that it would be, when we did the song, it was technically done, but I was like, we're not doing this song justice by doing a song about Harriet Tubman in the modern day terms without having a female MC on it. You gotta have a female MC on it. If you listen to the lyrics of the song, it is a concept based upon modern day. If Harriet Tubman was in modern day
today,
because she said, I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more. Only if they knew that they were free, was talking about the mind. And there are so many people in modern day terms that are free, but they're not free.
Yeah.
And I talk about that mental enslavement from my perspective. Verbs talks about it from his perspective. And then the female MC, her name is Rocket. And Rocket talks about it from a female perspective. All in modern day terms.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard the song Harriet Tubman, we pay homage to Harriet Tubman, but we're telling the story in modern day terms.
That's a dope track. I like Harriet Tubman. Y'all should go listen to it, stream it, download it. It's out everywhere. You can find it on all streaming platforms. Dope track. It's got this dope hoodie to accompany it too. So go copy one of these too. As a performer, Well, we already asked you that. I was going to ask you about performing on stage. You already answered that.
Yeah.
This is a thought-provoking, like a thought shift question.
Yeah.
So we be talking about music, we
Mhm.
talking about industry, we
Mhm.
talking about recording, putting projects together.
Yeah.
How do you think, as you being in this realm, in this arena, in your life being dedicated to pushing forth the mission of God's word, right?
Mhm.
And how do you think, though, America views the brick and mortar church today?
That's a great question. Being a black man or whatever you want to call it, black man, African American, American, African descent, all different. Being a person of color, I think that the Americanized church, because you know people say white man's religion, Americanized church, and it's just all of these things in Jerusalem and just this is in Africa. Like
Yeah.
it's like, wait a minute, hold on, how does this? Wait a minute, like
We ignoring that part?
yeah, are we ignoring the part that all of this stuff happened? The Red Sea, how Africa and and how it part, right there.
Mhm.
Like, well, are we forgetting location? I think that the brick and mortar church, we are the church, the people. Although people say, you don't need to go to a building, and it's just that could be a long answer. But the truth of the matter is that the saving of souls is the good news, the gospel is how I obtained the gospel was someone sharing the good news that I don't have to live. That my soul can be eternally, I can have a better life, that there is a creator that offers a eternal life for me, and that I can have that life on earth as it is in heaven if I follow. I'm a big analogy person, so when I got my first car, I leaned really heavy in on my owner's manual because it's my first car. So when the pastor said that the Bible was the manual to this life in Christ, and that to be a good husband, my only example, because my mother and father were never married, my wife's mother and father were never married, so all of my templates came from the Bible. Loving your enemies. I still had enemies in the streets. I was a street dude. So when the dudes from the street seen me, gave my life to the Lord, and see me witnessing and all that, like they seen the change and the transformation. I felt the transformation. I've heard people say, I heard a wise man say, a man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man with an argument. So a person can never argue me or dispute the relationship that I had, the voice that I heard that said, go to this lady house or don't reject me. You know what I'm saying? And like, these are those personal relationships. There's something, we're still friends because no matter what we go through, there's nobody that can talk me off of our relationship because of my experience with you.
Personally.
My bad, bro. I'm getting a little choked up, bro.
But personally, exactly.
Because you can't talk me out of that because I experienced that.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
There are things that's happened in my Christian walk through the modern day church that was so traumatic, or there are people who've gone through things that have caused them to say, if this is what Christianity is about, I don't want none for. I respect that. But never let, when those things used to happen to me, and I would, backslide and go through my things, God would always come to me and say, they did that to you. Why are you making me pay for it? Why are you? I remember, true story. I remember when I was living in Jacksonville as a baby Christian, and I get mad, and people would turn their back on me and stuff like that. And I remember being in the club, walking away from God, saying I'm done with this Christian thing, and getting my drink on and stuff, and trying to drink my problems away. And I felt like the Lord was saying, they did that to you. Why are you punishing me? I've done nothing but love you. I've done nothing but. It's like punishing the person who's really, why are you punishing me?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, God. Like, I am punishing you. The relationship, the Christ that lives, I was punishing the Christ that lives in me. You see what I'm saying?
Exalting the Christ that lives in you.
Exactly. And it wasn't based upon I'm sinning. It was based upon He brought me out. He could bring me out again.
Yeah.
And I think with technology, we can see so much of what's wrong with the world now. We can get caught in a bias of why we shouldn't have that personal relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
But the bottom line that reigned true in the 90s when I gave my life to the Lord to the right now is that personal relationship. Jesus is Lord. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. He'll come into your life and transfer your life and walk with you through the trials and tribulations. I've been able to get everything back and then some through the 2008 crash. You know what I'm saying? But on the finance side and on the losing everything and getting it back and all that. But the one thing is that relationship. God was still with me when I lost everything. He was still with me when we got that rental house, and when we got that, he was with me when I started the label for the third time.
Yeah.
He was with me when I started, Village King, and he's with me. He's with me. And if you want that relationship, you can't be deterred by what other people are allowed. It's almost like when you watch these people who give you a bad review on a movie before you get to see it for yourself.
Yes, exactly.
That relationship. And so, yeah, it's a lot of bad examples out there. There's a lot of bad examples. But there are a lot of people, even to this day, that are still feeding the homeless. They're still doing prison ministry. They're still doing the work of the Lord. It is based upon what you desire in your relationship. Because I read this book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And there's this thing that says if you think you can or you think you can't, you're both right.
Yep.
You really believe you can't do it? Oh, you can't do it. You're going to find 100 reasons why you can't.
Exactly.
If you think you can do it,
you're going to keep finding a way.
You're going to keep finding ways to
because you believe it's possible.
Exactly. And it's the same thing in your faith. If you type in, church crooks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The church pastors crooks, and
Yeah.
man, you're going to find thousands of videos.
Yeah.
If you look into people who are feeding the homeless, people who are truly doing the work of God, you're going to find that too.
You're going to find what you're looking for.
You're going to find what you're looking for. And the world presents that.
That's a good segue. And for two reasons.
Yeah.
I relate to that, hearing that voice, and nobody can tell you what you didn't what you experienced. Nobody can deny, the moment when I gave my life to Christ. My walk and my journey's been up and down, but nobody can deny. I can't even deny that moment, that experience.
Yes.
So
I got a friend of mine who is so enamored and disgusted with the things that's going on in, some of the church circles.
Mm-hmm.
He always says to me, man, I would not be a Christian right now had I not experienced the things that I've experienced.
Exactly.
So the man and woman, I rephrase that, the man and woman with an experience is never at the mercy of the person with the argument. The person with experience is never at the mercy of the person with the argument.
You can argue all you want, but you didn't experience what I experienced. Like, I'm from this. I came from here, and I know what it is. It's real to me.
Yeah.
So with all that said, okay, just to shift the perspective a little bit, I want to get your take then on, a lot of people recently, about Martin Sapp closing the doors to the church during offering time.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that happening during a time of giving, and how, America just ran with it? That's the technology part that we all saw it on technology, and it was spread and went viral. Okay. But that could shape a person's view toward the church.
It can shape a person's view or continue the narrative of how they feel. So and they be right. I'm with it. And I'm going to tell you, like, 100%. The body of Christ is just like with Paul writing the letters. You're doing this and you're doing this, but there's one thing I have against you. Some of this stuff, body of Christ, you're going to have to straighten up and fly right. You can't. You did it in the 80s and you did it in the 90s. You can't do that in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Because somebody can say, oh, there's some crap right here. Hold on, let me get this foolishness on camera. You see what I'm saying? That does not bring glory to God. And scripture, and it's not biblical, because the scripture says that you give from your heart. Some things is common sense. some stuff, and then people fall for it because they don't know the word.
Yeah.
Some stuff common sense. I've been, as a recording artist, and my wife being my manager, been in some services where we seen some, oh, this some foolishness. We leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not, no.
Not sticking around for this.
I did not allow that to, just like with the Lord, if you seen or experienced that, don't allow that to taint your relationship with the Alpha and Omega. That's humans.
Who you know.
Yeah. Don't allow that, because just as sure as this stuff happens in Christianity, I think because we have a real devil and there's a real enemy to fight, it's always going to be highlighted in Christianity. But it happens in Egyptology, it happens in Hotep, it happens in, I have friends that are in other religious, it happens in the Muslim and Hindu, because as long as you got human beings
exactly involved,
it's gonna be somebody gonna do something that ain't right.
There's gonna be something tainted in it.
Exactly.
You know what
I'm saying? And so, but I'm not with it.
Yeah.
I think that it is a wake up call to that type of thing. It should not be done. It should not be done. I knew, because I experienced that coming up as a believer and not agreeing with it. I didn't even click none of the videos.
Yeah.
It's almost like somebody saying, this person got beat up real bad. Okay, I know what it looked like for somebody to get beat up. I ain't got to watch the video.
Exactly.
I already know what happens in the midst of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not with it. But I don't have for us, what we have to do is we have to listen, learn, and when something happens, it's like, okay, we have to show a mirror to ourselves to say, note to self, clean up, note to self, get myself together, because it might not be the door closing the doors to you, but it might be your misrepresentation of losing your temper. Yeah, you quote scripture and all that, but when somebody do something to you on the job, you lose your temper. It's the same thing. That doesn't bring glory to God.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying, you stealing stuff out the break room. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't need this. I'm gonna bring a couple of these things home. That's misrepresentation, from the biggest things to the littlest things, the smallest things. So we always have to take those things to ourselves and say, okay, how can I learn from this? Even with that situation, okay, God, clean me up and make sure I'm not bringing, but that ain't cool. But with technology, it's so easy now everything is based upon societal, let's find the next drama. Let's find the next, and with this, revisit your dreams. I love that, because you're saying, because there's somebody that's going to watch this, and then somebody that's going to be distracted by the next thing. This says, hey, what happened with Cat Williams, and what happened to this and that? And there are people who especially for what we do, they know everything about Marvin Sapp and Cat Williams and Will Smith and all that. And then you ask them, hey man, did you ever finish that book? No, I'm still working on it. Man, I just haven't had time. Oh, now you ain't got time. These are your visions and revisiting your dreams.
Yeah.
You got to work on your dreams. Nobody care about your dreams like you care about your dreams.
But you got to work on it.
So these things are meant to distract us from revisiting our dreams. So you got to. So this helps remind us to revisit our dreams and how to do it one step at a time.
So in other words, and I'm not drawing attention to the issue with Marvin Sapp.
No, I ain't with it.
No, I appreciate that response.
Yeah.
I appreciate that response. What I'm saying is, focus on you though.
Yes.
That's a viral moment. That impacted people in some kind of way. But more than paying attention to what that brother did on that day, how about focusing on what you can do to improve your walk or your everyday life or your purpose or your momentum? Because that's a real thing, but the energy spent in
I have literally
talking about it and diving into it and regurgitating it and feeling some kind of way about the church as it relates to it doesn't help your personal walk.
And I'm going to look at the camera. I usually don't do this, but as an active creative, you don't have the time. As a mature, we got silver in our beard.
Yeah.
As an active creative, you don't have time for it. You literally don't have time for it.
You don't have
If
time
you're
for
trying to
gossip.
revisit your dreams, you don't have time for it. Literally, there are people who call me and say, "Hey, man, did you hear about such and such and such? Is it on the internet? Yeah, it'll be there.
Yeah,
I got things I need to do."
exactly.
I had to literally rebuke one of my brothers and say, "Hey, man, don't you ever call me as a grown man 8 o'clock in the morning with this.
About something like that.
No, ever.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There was
Yeah.
some drama. Oh man, I didn't mean it like that. Don't ever call me because I'm waking up. I'm getting my coffee.
You're trying to get your spirit right. You're
Exactly.
trying to get your cadence for your daily walk right. Everything.
Because once this die down, they're gonna come with another one, and it never stop because it's a money maker now.
Absolutely.
And it's never gonna stop. And it's always, and we gotta see.
Yeah.
It's like the car crash. It's the car crash syndrome. You riding, and you're like, oh, why the crash happened on that side? Why is this side slow?
Exactly.
Everybody got to see.
Yeah. Man, that's powerful because focus on you, focus on your mission, focus on your motion. Focus on your momentum.
Yes.
The rest of everything else will take care of itself. Man, I thank you for being honest with that question. I think other people might skirt around the issue or give a different response.
Yeah.
But you were straightforward and honest with it. But you also provided a solution to it to the viewers. Like, focus on you. Yeah. Focus on your walk instead of pointing the finger.
They know everything about Diddy.
If you want to go to church and tithe and give, go do that. If you want to give $20, give $20. If you want to give $2,000, give $2,000. If you want to give anything today and give some next week, do what you got to do. Don't let nobody judge you for that. But don't let that news slow you down and take so much of your time and attention that you ain't focused on this no more.
Dream. Yeah.
You focus on something else. And some of your dream might be attached to your consistency with, your faith.
That's what kills a lot of people is the momentum.
Yeah.
Even just doing a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Just the momentum of doing it. Staying in it, staying in what you want to do, whether it's music, whether it's podcasting, whether it's baking, or whether if you're baking and you working your job and you don't have time, I don't care if you just watch baking videos. Find out what new company, like no matter what, always like with myself and Knowdaverbs, when we don't have time to record, we're always doing something. When I have time to produce, I ride and literally listen to the new sound packs that come out. I literally listen to other producers. It's like I always got my hand on it in some kind of way. And whatever you do, that helps your momentum.
That's how you elevate. That's how you keep going.
Yeah.
That's where like you always doing something. Like it's like do more with what you already have and keep going. Every little step, every little incremental step is important. Yeah. It goes back to the Thug Love album. You just kept on, produce this song, produce this beat, record this song, produce this, record this, get this mix, take this picture, take this, do that. Next thing you know, you got a package that led to some of your biggest work ever.
Yeah, to this day.
One of the songs on there was on, you had a movie on, song on Lila and Eve.
Lila and Eve, that's with award-winning, I think she won an Oscar. I don't know.
Yeah, Viola
Davis and J-Lo
was in that movie.
Yeah, we had a song on Layla and Eve. We had a song on Sons of Anarchy. We had a song on Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns, the movie, and a lot of countless TV shows. Remember Pimp My Ride? Just so many TV shows. A bunch of stuff. Yeah, we've had a bunch of placements. A lot of movie placements, a lot of TV and film placements. A lot of them stem from that album. Yeah.
And this next question is getting ready to be a little bit deeper. I know we've spent a lot of time here, and you touched on it a little bit earlier, but I think it's a powerful testimony. I think it's a powerful story for someone that might get something out of this part of your life story. But you once put a firearm to your head.
Oh, yeah.
And
no, I put it in my mouth.
Put it and almost pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I almost pulled the trigger. That was during the time where my sister went to prison. My mom was really sick. My best friend, I was in a mainstream rap group, was getting ready to take off, and we had the hood buzzing and everything. He went to prison. Our DJ went to prison. I just felt like everything I was trying to reach out to do was falling apart, and I just didn't want to live. And I was suffering from depression and didn't know. I didn't know it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what
It wasn't labeled mental health.
mental health, and especially being a black man.
Yeah.
So as much as much as things that I frown upon with technology, there's some leaps and bounds that we have now with technology. And unfortunately, then I didn't have anybody to come to and say, hey, I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling down. It all had reached a head at that time. And my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, her mom hated my guts, which she had every right, and didn't want us to be together. And, I'm in love with this girl. I can't be with her. Well, I want to do this rap group. My rap partner just went to prison. My sister just went to prison. My mom is sick. It's just like everything. I'm reaching out, the shootouts and this, and I'm trying to make money. And it's just like, if this is my life, I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to live like this no more. And that was my senior year in high school, and I was 19. And I remember that day I didn't go to school, and I was 19 years old and still in high school.
Yeah, so
it was a little embarrassing.
You had stuff against you.
Everything was against me. Yeah. And I remember I didn't go to school that day, and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she wasn't supposed to be around me at all. And I remember my dad had this huge assault rifle, like a 30-30. And I was like, I just don't want to be here. Oh, the first time I tried to commit suicide, I grabbed a whole bunch of pills. I didn't know where I got them from. And I just overdosed on these pills. And they got me to the hospital, pumped my stomach. And, I was just like, man, I'm so dumb. I can't even kill myself, right? Yeah. And then I said, this time, I'm not going. I'm
playing around with
it. And I remember she got off, she rode the bus, and she got off at my bus stop or whatever. Came to the house, and I was just like, oh, man, I just got sent her home because I didn't care. I made up my mind I was going to do it. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'll walk you home, I'll take you home, or whatever. Just wait outside for me. And I was like, if I take her home, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So I literally my mind was so gone, I was going to literally commit suicide with my girlfriend standing outside. And then she would have found me like that. She would have found me like that. So she was waiting. She came back in. By that time she came back in, because it was a long rifle, so I literally put my thumb on the trigger, put the boot on the ground, on the floor. I was sitting on the bed, and I put the rifle in my mouth. And right when I put the rifle in my mouth, she had forgot her purse. And she came back in the house to get her purse, and that's when she saw me. And she grabbed the gun, and we literally fought over it. It could have went off at any time. She grabbed the gun, and then I don't know how she got it from me. I'm stronger than her.
Yeah. She
got it from me, and she grabbed it like it was a baby. And she begged me. And then there was the wall and the bed, and then she grabbed it and then threw it, holding on to it like a baby, threw it between the bed and the mattress. Mm-hmm. And then she grabbed my arms and just begged me not to do it. And then made me promise her. Then she got up, she called her mom, she said, I know I'm not supposed to be over here, but can you please come and talk to Dwayne? And then her mom came.
So she put
herself
even that's powerful. Yeah. Because she put herself in jeopardy because she wasn't even supposed to be dealing with you at all. And you in your house.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Her mom came over, and my wife went to the car. And that was our first real one-on-one. And this woman just granted, she didn't like me. All of our interactions were not good, and she looked past all that, and she really talked to me, And then I was like, and this was coinciding with Sister Lisa, talking to me, and all of this, God was just calling on me. And there are many people out here where God is using people to talk to you, but you have to make those choices. And I said, I got to do something better with my life. I got to do something better. And when I was offered eternal life, I had to at least try it. Now, when I went to that church and started going to church with Sister Lisa, I didn't accept Christ right then and there. I just didn't go in and it was some beautiful thing and all that. It was a process because I had had experiences with bad Christians as a teenager and as a young adult. My stepfather was supposed to be like this deacon in the church and played, and I didn't want to have to do with God and church and all of that.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, God, if I'm gonna follow you, I need a 24-hour God. I have 24-hour problems.
Yeah.
And it was a process. It was a process in going there and seeing these people live this thing for real. And that's why it's good to be in a good Bible believing, church and people who really are authentic. And if you're at a church and people ain't authentic, use your common sense too. Sometimes some stuff is just common sense.
Yeah.
This is not when you see this. I'm just using an extreme example. If they jump out and they start carrying snakes and all that,
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
doing?
Yeah, what we doing? Hold on,
Is this
ain't
church?
Nah, this ain't church, bro. Use your common sense. Some
Yeah.
stuff is common sense. But they showed me the love of Christ. But once I gave my life to the Lord and I began to see that there was a whole nother, the devil's literally trying to take my life, to take me out. So the devil's not gonna come with a pitchfork. And there were times where I literally was almost taken out on the streets. But ultimately, he wants you to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the power to do it. Yeah. So it's self-sabotage, self-suicide, self-inflicting, putting yourself in the wrong positions. But then I just began to walk with God. And it was a process.
So you meant, would you say that your walk with God helped to heal you from maybe a mental sickness?
Yeah, but I had to, yes. It was a supernatural, so to speak, finding Christ and finding a way and a reason to live. Finding something that was outside of that. But then I also had to deal with my own personal mental. Yeah, I had some, from shootouts and all this. I had some mental, some trauma there.
Yeah.
Some from being molested and and there was some serious seeing dead bodies in the hood.
Yeah.
People don't understand. They always post talk about PTSD just for military. They're young people who that's not normal.
Yeah.
Like seeing dead bodies and then going to school, that's not normal. Being molested or being abused or seeing your mother, your parents being abused or something, and then going to school and have to be normal and play on the park. That's not normal.
Yeah.
So there are certain mental health things that I begin to have to do. But there are mental health aids in the Bible. It's not just fruity things that you just pray about it. Just pray about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Scripture says, cast every thought and imagination that excels itself above the knowledge of God. Cast it down. That's wellness. That's wellness. You'll never be nothing. There are people who you're just like your father. You're a loser. Cast that thought down. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't subscribing to that.
That's the scripture. That's scripture. I wish I knew it. But it's funny because how my mind works as an MC, I can remember the long part of it, but not
the little short.
John, it's in, man, and I'm always amazed by people that can go, Matthew such and such says this. But I can remember that long part. But because of technology, you can go look it up. You can try to cast every thought and imagination that excels itself above the knowledge of God. You know what I'm saying? God's thoughts of you are lovely and pure, good and not of evil. You know what I'm saying? There are so many scriptures that talk about self-care. There are so many scriptures that talk about how to walk out within your mental health.
Did after overcoming that, like you talked about, we're going back to the firearm, and almost pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
After overcoming that, how does that change your perspective on how you value life? At that point, did your value for life change, or how has your value for life changed since that point?
I'm a huge movie buff, so movies always speak to me. And once I started walking with Christ and I started seeing when I saw the movie Terminator, it reminded me of, now that I know that the devil wants to come back into time to kill me as a young person so that I never become Pettidee and go to the prisons, and I never become John Connor and fight the enemy and become this strong force that goes to prisons and puts out albums and speaks life. He tried to, so I had a new perspective of anybody that I talk to that says thoughts of suicide. The enemy is not, new to this.
Yeah.
So he knows the games. So he knows that if he can get you to commit suicide, you're gonna kill that future, game changer that's living on the inside of you.
Yeah.
That future mom, now I'm a father. You know what I'm saying? I've been married to the same one for 28 years, and now we got 26-year-old son and a 25-year-old daughter, and now I'm a grandfather. I'm a hip hop granddaddy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was trying to
he was trying to kill that guy.
All of that. Yeah.
He was trying to kill the guy that's talking on.
This
you know what I'm
guy.
saying?
He was trying to kill this guy.
Yes. To
Yes.
tell somebody to revisit their dreams.
Yes.
To in this moment, to watch this podcast, to see this video, this will still live on even after I'm gone.
Yeah.
He was trying to kill that guy. He talked the guy, that kid, that young adult into trying to take himself out because he doesn't have the power to do it.
Yeah.
And there are so many people, young adults, and there's so many people. Suicide, because of social media, is at an all-time high because of the comparison. And everybody feels behind. Everybody feels like, man, they're living their best life. What am I doing? And I heard a guy say this. This was years ago when social media first took off and Facebook, and everybody's doing Facebook. And he said, never compare your behind the scenes to somebody else's highlight reel. He said when a manager is trying to get his player, his football player, or his baseball player to sign on to a team, he's not going to show all the footage of the fumbles and dropping the ball. Everything is going to be highlight reel. Everything is going to be home runs. You know what I'm saying?
Catch a touchdown.
Highlight reel. And if you look at a lot of these things on Instagram, it's glorified highlight reels. You don't have. And then when somebody finally does tell you what they were going through, it's like it happened in the past.
Yeah.
Like, when I had that album out, I was this, and other people go, wow. Yeah. It's like they literally wait until it's over with to tell you what was happening.
Deal, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm at one of the best places of my life, but last year I did a video where things are going good, but I was having a really tough time because I have a trucking company and running a record label and being a father and, being an artist and being a producer. And I just was so overwhelmed. And then I was like stressed. I was crying. And then something in my head, crazy head said, film this because people don't see this side. Yeah. And I filmed it. And then when I filmed it, I was like, bro, don't put that out. Do not release that. Yeah. You finna
don't hit send.
Don't hit send. Because it was tough. Things were going good, but people don't post when it's tough. Yeah. People don't post the stress. People don't post and I posted it, and when I posted it, then I was tempted to take it down. But there were so many people that was blessed by that video. I'm crying.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
I was I remember that video. Yeah.
You remember that? I was like, it's tough. Yeah. People don't, but I was like, but don't get it twisted. I'm still a beast. Yeah. I'm still out here, but don't give up.
You know, it's hard.
Tough. It's hard.
I'm gonna keep going though. I'm encouraging you to keep going, but I'm letting you know the real
hard.
deal.
Yeah, bro. With
I'm struggling right now.
Yeah, I'm struggling right now. It wasn't a particular thing, but it was all.
That was so powerful though, man. Yeah. That was so powerful because I know if everybody else that liked that video, shared it, related to it, felt like I felt, it was very powerful because I know you, but I was like, damn, bro, he's speaking my language right now. I'm in the same lane.
And there are so many people in that lane that are embarrassed to share that. And I'm not saying go get out here and share everything, like, because some stuff, everybody with the phone ain't deserve to comment.
Exactly.
Certain things you just don't want to put out there. But the reality of it is that I learned from being that dude who was passing out stuff in the hood, to traveling the world, to losing everything, to getting it all back, to that no matter who you are, whether you're making $5 an hour, $10 an hour, to where you're making $100,000, everybody, and I want to share this with your viewers. Nobody got it all got it together, and everybody got their cross to bear, bruh. Everybody got their cross to bear.
No matter what their life looked like on the outside.
Dude, I have literally got on the phone with people who make six figures, I got a friend of mine, he makes $60,000, $70,000 a day, bro. He making 100 bands a week. And I'm counseling him through certain things because there are certain areas in my life where God has allowed me to mature in that area. He's a younger guy, and he's like, man, this is profound. This is wisdom. Now, I had nobody to talk to. But when we put a dollar sign on that and think that this person has it all together because they got this dollar amount, that's unwise. We can't, and then, because somebody is in a certain position, and that's the worst thing, that we always put microphone in front of somebody's mouth that because they made a certain amount of sell, a certain amount of records, that they got it all together, that they got all the answers. And that's not, everybody got their cross to bear. Right. You see what I'm saying? So there are certain things that scripture says that iron sharpens iron. So there are certain things that he can tell me in finance, and there are things that I can tell him in life, and we're sharpening each other. And he's like, I never would have thought about it that way. That's just like the guy who's got $100,000 in the bank, but he's still struggling with his weight. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a guy who's muscular and can tell you everything to eat, but he's still struggling in his finances because nobody's helped him manage his money. There's that guy who's got the money, got the finances, and these are people that I have relationship with, that we are sharpening each other. You see, and there are certain areas that they're sharpening me in, but then they have so much trauma from their background that it is every time they get to a certain level, they sabotage themselves. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, man, people don't see this side because I'm financially able to keep this part away from them. But man, and I remember one of them was like, he was transparent on his podcast, and he's transparent on his Instagram, and he was showing all of these high profile pictures, and he was like, see this picture? See, and the video almost looked like he was bragging. So see this picture, see this picture, see this picture. He was like, all of these pictures I just showed you guys was, what you don't see is that I was in deep depression. And the worst part is having money and having success, and you're not happy, and you're scared to tell somebody because you're like, man, I'm supposed to be happy. Yeah. I'm supposed to be the one that, bro, you got this, and you're supposed to be happy.
So you fake it. You keep faking it. You keep faking it.
Then you got to it's fake.
It's overwhelming.
Faking it till you make it. Yeah. Faking it when problems is happening. Faking it when you really need help. And then you're like, this person had everything. How did they commit suicide? They were suffering in silence. You see what I'm saying? So we have to have that relationship. We have to have relationships where we can be humble and not know that, man, money come and go, bro. Yeah. This stuff come and go, man. This stuff is so fickle, bro. And your health is wealth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Very Great relationships is important. Humility is important. Giving back. Leaving something here. It's not about the destination. Life is not about the destinations. Life is about the journey. Because your destinations will constantly change. There's stuff that you and I wanted in our 20s that we just seen is silly now.
Yeah, like I'm even thinking about
it. Yo, if I get this, my life is gonna be lit, bro. Yeah. But now we're like, oh, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. The destinations change. Yeah. But once we learn that life is about the journey, these relationships and these moments and these times, and then building those, man, it's such a beautiful thing.
Man, I really appreciate this time. if you guys are still watching, I'm sure you guys have like been fed a lot of nuggets, a lot of jewels. Like you've been dropping a lot of stuff that has helped me even just sitting here, like open my eyes, give me a different perspective, remind me of some things that I once forgot about, even in my own personal walk with Christ. So man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Just even I was gonna say this real quick, man.
Yeah,
because I can get long with. Hopefully,
Me too.
man, you might have to break this up into segments, baby. But I remember one time when I was really in a low place, and as far as the music, and people want me to do more music, and I was like, what's the purpose? Like, why?
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this drum machine on, and I went in and I started making this beat, and I was making a beat, and then I was just jumping around. I mean, the beat was banging. And I was like, woo! And I was making this beat, and I was jumping around, and then, I had the AC on and everything. I was sweating.
Yeah.
I'm jumping around. My wife came in there, and she was like, I'm in there screaming, yeah, to get mumbling these words and stuff. And she just smiling and shaking her head. And it was about a year where I was like, what's the purpose? What's the purpose? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? What's the purpose of even doing it? Because we overthink everything. Because sometimes us as creatives, we get a great idea, and then we get overwhelmed by what we need to create it and make it happen.
Yeah.
And then before we know it, we was just happy a few minutes ago.
Exactly.
But now we're thinking,
now we're frustrated, stressed out. That's too much.
Man, I need the budget. I need to do this. I need to do that. But instead of just starting with the thing that made you happy.
Yeah.
And the voice of the Lord, once again, I was sweating. I cut the track off. I was like, okay, let me save it. And when I saved it, that voice had been quiet a whole year. Why am I so purpose? This is the purpose, because it makes you happy. Not because you're Pettidee, not because it's going to be on TV and film, not because you're going to drop it. The dude right now that's sweaty, jumping around the studio.
That's why you're doing it.
That's why you're doing it. It makes you happy.
Yeah.
And anything else you do with this music outside of this is a bonus.
Yeah.
This is what I put in you. The guy that's going out to play golf, and he's like, yo, I don't know anything about, under par and this.
Yeah.
He's not doing it to be Tiger Woods. He's doing it because it makes him happy.
Yeah.
That guy that goes in his, I had a manager at Second Harvest. He was an amazing drummer. He was in his 60s, and he was like, when I was in the 60s and 70s, I wanted to be a part of a rock band. But he was like, now I'm a manager at Second Harvest, and now I just come home, and he comes home, he's still in his work clothes. He goes in the his garage, and he just plays drums because he's so happy. And he says, I play drums every day because I'm smiling. My wife comes and she tells me 30 to 45 minutes before dinner is ready to go take my shower, and I eat. He's like, that's my life. And he's like, I'm a grandfather. He said, I play drums because it makes me happy. And I did that. And in order to revisit your dreams, start with what makes you happy. Not in the selfish happiness that the world tells you, but the thing that makes you jump around, the thing that you would do for free. Yeah. Start there, and that's how you can revisit your dreams.
You have to start, man. That you don't even know that you're ministering to me. Yeah. This episode. I created Revisit Your Dreams for dual purpose. I really created it to inspire and motivate other people. But I also need that inspiration and motivation. Yeah. So interviewing people like yourself, really, it feeds into me. I get just as much as you might be getting out of it, because what you just said is so powerful. There was times where what makes me happy, what I remember when I think about me and music and creativity, what used to make me happy, and I say I'm still a happy person in general, but I'm going through a journey right now with music myself. And what used to make me happy is coming home from work, getting undressed, winding down a little bit, straightening the house up. Now that the house is straight, kids is going to school, wife doing her thing, boom, I'm right here on these beats, boy. Boom. Mixing and that just, I used to get so much out of it. I would sit there for hours. It never felt like work. There was always something creative and dope done at the end of it. But then it got to a point where I started overthinking. What am I going to do with this
Yeah.
Am I gonna if I'm gonna put this on an EP,
And that's
a
when you
single, an
sabotage it.
album? If I'm gonna put try to send this to get put on shows, sync licensing. What am I gonna do with this, and how am I gonna promote it?
Kills it.
You know,
It end up stuck on your hard drive.
And that's where it's at right now.
Yep.
That's where it's at. That's why you're speaking to me.
Exactly. I've never been in there. I'm trying to hold myself together because this has been blessing me too.
Yeah.
I've never been laughing. People cry. I've never been connected to that 13-year-old kid as I am now.
Yeah. In your life, feeling like when you first wrote rap, when you first were introduced to hip hop, is that what you're talking about?
I feel like I'm making him proud.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you wearing Kango right now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When I see that Kango on your hat, my radio, believe me, I like it loud. You know what I'm saying? LL, and it's just like jumping around. Like, we're in a unique place, bro. Mm-hmm. We're not those guys that say, if I knew what I know now. We're able to know what we know then now and do something about it. Yeah. To be connected with that kid that jumped around to just making me happy. That kid that went and wrote his first rap. Yeah. When we say, if you could press a button and go back to this date and time, we in that time right now. You can, bro. Yeah. Listen, the toys that I couldn't afford. Yeah. I literally go to Amazon and can buy it now. The shoes, I can buy it. Buy it now. The things that you imagined yourself doing, you can afford to go out and purchase whatever you need to actually do it. Don't waste that time looking at what the world is going to revisit your dreams, not the world. Exactly. And I see it. For me, some people don't even have to say it. I can see it in their surroundings. I was watching an interview with, y'all know if you ever Earn Your Leisure. Yeah. They were interviewing Rick Ross, and they was in his studio. And they went in his studio, and he had all of these action figures and the Hulk and Voltron. Mm-hmm. And I said he revisited his dreams. He couldn't afford the Voltron. He couldn't afford the Hulk. But now he's old enough, he can afford the toys. He got, you see what I'm saying? It's like, yo, he's revisiting. I'm not letting that kid die in me. Yeah, we were talking about that Lamborghini Countach earlier. This is a revisited dream. Yes. I mean, this is a toy. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I don't have enough money to buy one of these. And if I had, $500,000, I wouldn't buy this right now. But if I had $5 billion, I'd probably have 4 of these. Right. Revisit my dream. Revisiting your dream. And I mean, to this day, I'm wearing Adidas because of Run DMC. It's like you got Kango on. It's like but just do those things keep us alive. We got to keep that child in us alive. We can't kill it. We can't let that child die in us. Yeah. That child, when you become let that part of you die, you become bitter. Then what happens is the reason why negative energy is so prevalent because everybody else want to find other people who are just as miserable or more miserable than them. Yeah, they got money, but look how tore up his life is. Yeah. That's not motivational. What does that do for you? Exactly. Yeah, but I always say this. A grown man or grown woman should never be bored. Should never be bored? I'm going to tell you why. Say that? A grown man or grown woman should never be bored. If you have visions and dreams, you should never be bored. Because there's always something to do to put you. I don't know why it's baking. Somebody watching is trying to get their bacon off the ground. And they keep thinking why they don't have this and they don't have this. And they're looking at the people that they're inspired to. Mm-hmm. Because you're not watching the videos. You're not baking cakes. You're not giving cakes away for free. Mm-hmm. If you haven't go into your next door neighbor and say, what's your favorite thing? I bake. Yeah. Can I do it for you? Can you give me your honest opinion? Then the one next door, then the one across the street. Can your next birthday party? If you like that pie, can I make something for you for free? Start with what you have. You see what I'm saying? It's like, do that thing that makes you happy. Yeah. Start with what do? I don't. I want to start my baking channel, but I don't have the camera, and I don't have this, and I don't have the time, and they don't start where they are. Look, in these days and times, I mean, I'm maybe not 100%, but 95% of humans in America, at least, have a cell phone. Yeah. So if you don't have a camera, you got a cell phone. Yeah. You can record yourself cooking a meal. You might not have the most glamorous pots and pans and dishes, but there are people who got the worst looking kitchen
in America, but
And
are
they got
making cooking videos,
and they got millions of
of
followers.
people are following them and watching them and cooking what they're
And
showing them.
you ever notice on some of those successful podcasts or those successful YouTube, they'll always go back to where they started.
Yeah.
And their advice is always start with what you have.
Yep.
And they go, sometimes I look at my old videos of how they were grainy and how they, they didn't have these kind of mics. They didn't have, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They got, to this day, I see some with 600,000 followers and they're holding a little headphone, little microphone, but they're getting it done.
Yep.
They're utilizing what they have. And if you're going to revisit your dreams, you're going to have to start with what you have.
Start where you first start.
Where are you? Yeah.
First start, but start where you are.
Yeah.
You might have your vision, your dream might be way out here,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're right here, start there. Don't try to start right here.
That's
You gotta get. And here's the other part of it. You talked about in the very beginning. It's all in the journey.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you could press a button and get to where your dream is,
there's so much you're gonna miss.
You're gonna miss a lot, and you won't be fulfilled. You'll get there, and you'll be like, okay, now I'm here. Now what?
And you'll end up losing it too because you don't have the sweat equity
to sustain it.
You don't have the things that need to happen.
You don't know what's required to maintain it because you didn't build it up.
That's why lottery winners lose their money within 3 to 5 years because they haven't understood that process.
It's too instantaneous.
Exactly. I watched a short with Steve Jobs, and he was talking about most people are afraid to fail.
Yeah.
That's why they don't even try.
Yeah.
And he said back in the day, he was called this company. He was 16 years old. I think it was either 12 or 16. And he called the company and said he was trying to build some kind of computer and wanted to know if the company had spare parts. And the guy was so impressed with him that he gave him a summer job, put him together, and that's how he got his relationships by asking. But he was never afraid to fail. He was never afraid for somebody to tell him no. They don't give it a try. They don't, just like we're sitting here to this day, but you asked me about, hey, ghostwriting and music, and you know what I'm saying? Me with TV and film, people say, oh man, they Google me and see all these TV and film placements. But what they don't understand is for every one song that was placed, and I'm not exaggerating, for every one song that was placed, they rejected about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
For every one beat that was placed, they rejected a 9 or 10. In those conversations, they'll call me and say, hey, Pettidee, we love the music. We reviewed it. Unfortunately, they always, when they say unfortunately,
you already know after that. Here we go.
This has always been the caveat, though. The most important thing is not landing the deal. The most important thing is creating the relationship. When I say, thank you so much for the call. I want to know that in the future, can I send you more music? Oh, yeah, absolutely. We love your music.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Your stuff is great. Keep sending us stuff. That's more important than landing.
Yeah.
Because now I have a forever open door. Exactly. That when this comes through, it's going to be reviewed. And I remember my daughter one time, she was getting discouraged. She was trying to get a job. And she was like, Dad, I've applied to 20 places. I said, that's all right, baby. You only need one job. Yeah. And she laughed. It was like our shoulders dropped. And she was like, he right. And when, in particular, that company, they reviewed a whole album, one of my albums, called Alien. And I know I got some bangers. Yeah. To this day, I know I got some bangers on there. Yeah, Alien. And they would review them every Tuesday. And at the end of that work week, at the end of those review week, they would call you and let you know which ones that they want to represent. And they called me and said, unfortunately, we listened to the whole album and we still love it. It's great music on there. They'll either say we have another client that has music similar or whatever. They'll have some technical reasons. And after that, I have recorded, when I recorded that album, I had recorded this one song and it was a banger. I knew that it was more TV and film than anything I had recorded at the time. And I had just recorded it and I was like, well, even though I have a relationship with him, can I still, come on, Patty, we love your stuff, man. Keep sending us stuff. Yeah. So I said, I got one. I know you just turned out 9 songs, like your whole album, but I got one I just recorded. Send it over. So this was the end of the review day. in the review week, because they did it every Tuesday, that I wasn't expecting them to respond until the following Tuesday. So I sent them this song called Big Monster, and I kind of did it in the mindset of a bad guy. It's not like, I don't got no cussing in it, but it's not like a gospel rap song. It's like in the mindset of, I did it for like Godzilla versus Kong or, like Thanos or something like that. And I said, he said, send it over, we'll review it. So I didn't expect to hear from them until the next day. An hour later, he called me in the review board, like, yo, we want this one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like an hour later.
This one is the one.
This one won.
Yeah.
But had I not, you know what I'm saying?
Had you got discouraged from the initial 7 or 8 or 9 that they rejected, and had you not developed that relationship to have the confidence to resubmit,
it's the yes or the no. And sometimes a no ain't a no, a no is the maybe.
Yep.
So even that they rejected it, and hey, can y'all do this? And maybe not. And a lot of times it may be not right now.
Not right now, yeah.
Or how can I serve you?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times people are trying to get their podcast off the ground. They're trying to get their thing going. But if you can serve somebody, then you become greater attribute to whatever else is doing. Man, this person needs me in this area.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad I put myself in a position to serve them, to show that. You see what I'm saying? So, no is not always no.
Yeah. Even in doing this podcast, when I first started this venture, my goal was to bring people on that I knew had a journey that they are traversing or they have traversed, and a powerful testimony to some level. And I also knew that bringing an individual like yourself on would help me.
Yeah.
As we talk about different things. I'm gonna have to edit that out because I forgot where I was going.
Yeah, no,
but that's okay. I'm going to switch gears. This is going to be chopped out.
Yeah, and also for the sake of time, just feel free to edit it how you see fit.
Okay. No, everything you said, I ain't editing none of that out. I ain't editing that. If anything, I'm gonna chop me off. You've been speaking volumes. I was going somewhere with that. I can't remember where I was going with it. I kind of lost my train of thought, but that's okay. What would you tell somebody who believes that they are too old to pursue their dreams, or time has passed them by? It's too late for them to pursue their dreams.
I have a friend of mine who used this word, and I never thought that I would use it, but it's a farce. It's a farce. I mean, certain things, you're gonna have to. You can't be out there trying to, play football that, what I'm saying, with the knees, and there are certain things that we can age out of. You know what I'm saying? There are certain things where we can be in love with it, or maybe find a position where we can still do it and still be a part of it. But as far as the age thing, I think that's another beautiful thing about the internet, is that you still can find what you love and find a way to be a part of it now. That you don't have to believe, for years, for decades, we were always told that hip hop was a young man's game. But now you say, hey man, let me get, now you got hip hop, since hip hop turned 50. Dudes, hey man, these dudes ain't doing good with the rock. Let me get the rock back. You know what I'm saying? It's like hip hop. I never believed that lie as far as hip hop, because I've always saw it as a music genre, and that we're the only genre for a long time that accepted that it was a young man's game or a young person's game. But all the other genres saw it as art form. So you got the Aerosmith and all these people 100 years old still out here touring. All the other R&B, rock, country. That's like, wait a minute, everybody's still touring.
Right, still.
Like, wait a minute, that's not fair. Something ain't right. Something is missing. So what I did was I actually studied all of the other ones and seen what makes Garth Brooks still relevant now. What makes Ronald Isley relevant now, reinventing himself as Mr. Big, and Uncle Charlie. You see what I'm saying? Charlie Wilson, Gap Band. Reinventing yourself and renewing. And I watched a documentary on Nokia, and on the documentary, they were in the big board meeting and everything, and they were talking about the first time around when they were had to close their doors. And one of the executives was asking a question to the CEO, what did we do wrong? Said we did nothing wrong. We just didn't grow with the times. And the key to doing is constantly, number one, remain a student of your industry. Remain a student of your industry and know when the changes happen.
That's what's gonna keep you in the game.
Yes.
Remaining a student of the industry keeps you in the know of the new technologies, the new resources, the new techniques, and all those things. And if you in the know and you practice those things, then you always stay ahead of the curve, or at least aligned with the curve.
Stevie Wonder was always a student.
Yeah.
Smokey Robinson was always a student. Marvin Gaye was always a student. Michael Jackson was always a student. Prince was always a student. James Brown was always a student. These people always, and you just see the transition. They transition with every. James Brown, he would transition with every decade. Would find a way for it to authentically be James Brown, but you know what I'm saying. And when he could no longer evolve with it, when he no longer do it, remember you got I'm black and I'm proud, and you know what I'm saying, and then I feel good, and then I live in America. You know what I'm saying? But by that time, hip hop had already started sampling his stuff. So now that transcends. So we still doing videos. People still doing videos about James Brown. So the thing is, always maintain, no matter what industry you're in, remain a student, because you'll find a new thing. And then sometimes you know this to be true. It'll be the old thing rehashed in the new version of the old thing. Oh, that ain't nothing but this.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Lo-fi. That ain't nothing but soul. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing but old soul. You know what I'm saying? The soul, neo soul. That's neo soul beats, man. What? Oh man, that such and such. Now they doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that ain't nothing but the old Louisiana bounce. Oh man, that ain't nothing but the old Luther Campbell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some stuff, because you maintain this being a student of your craft, whether it's cooking, whether it's golf, whether it's writing. Now as a writer, you can pitch music, you can do all kind of stuff with technology.
Yeah.
So just to answer the question, it's just like how to just maintaining, always being a student, always being a student.
Keeps you young.
Yeah.
Keeps you
relevant, and you're able to sow into other people too.
Yes.
Because that transcends you.
Yeah.
Because my brother, he always brags on his documentary, and I haven't found it yet. About what's my man that used to do the polka dots? Kwame.
Kwame, yeah.
And when Kwame was at his peak, you know what I'm saying? He was just a guy. And everybody started putting the blonde, in their fade. And then Biggie came out. Before that, Kwame's music started kind of go down. And this is from my understanding, this is on a documentary. So his, the record sales kind of started tanking, and everything kind of, hip hop started changing. And then when Biggie said, I'm going to punch you full of holes, you're going to look like Kwame.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then it was a joke to like Kwame.
Right.
But what he did was he rebranded himself, stepped back, became a producer behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? And reinvented himself. But he still was in the thing that he loved to do, but he just reinvented himself. Maintaining yourself as a student to the thing that you love. Yeah.
Man, that's a beautiful thing. And like this podcast for me is an extension of the things that I've done through music.
Yeah.
So being a student, remaining a student, like how can I extend beyond being a producer? How can I extend beyond the few releases that I've had?
Right.
How can I make a bigger impact? I've always wanted to be a person to make an impact.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to help people. I've always wanted to inspire people in that kind of way. So me sticking to doing what I love to do in production and not ever giving up on it completely, always being a student, always learning, like even when I wasn't producing, even when I wasn't doing anything, I'm researching, I'm learning, I'm always doing something to the tune of, okay, where is where is that next angle for me? Of growth.
Yeah.
And
And
it evolved to this point.
And I noticed with everything you're doing too, you're not afraid to try something new and try something different. And don't just be pigeonholed to what you love to do, to where I've watched some of my artist friends be so pigeonholed to being an artist. When that shift happened, they wasn't able to grow with that shift. When the shift happened for me, because I have a family, I was okay with finding a way to take care of my family, whether it was a job or whether it was, doing other things, looking into other ways of investment, just to get back to the things that I love to do. When I started my trucking company, it was very late in life. And I had a friend of mine say, you love music and you got a label. Why did you start a trucking company? I was like, to be honest with you, I started a trucking company to finance my music addiction. He just laughed. I said, I just gonna still want to put the money back into music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what the 2008 crash taught me was that I was diversified in one area. I wasn't diversified in multiple areas, and be okay with having a job, because your job is your first investment. That's your first
investor.
That's your first investor. When you look at it like that, this is how I fund what I like to do. Then you'll look at your job, because everybody wants to. I can't wait till I leave here and go full time. Well, guess what? It's going to be double work to work. Trying to get this off the ground.
Exactly.
And most companies, don't become profitable until the second and third year, because you're trying to get it off the ground. But if you got something that's helping you fund it, Killer Mike. Killer Mike will be the first one to tell you that his other businesses and his real estate and his apartment complexes and his barbershops funded
his albums.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of artists don't talk about that.
Yeah.
But Young Jeezy,
because it's only about the glamour of the output and the outcome.
These guys are huge in real estate. Their portfolios are huge.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to do other things, to step outside of something else. I started getting into, because when I would get to a certain level of my business deals, I would always have to call somebody else in. But when I started learning about the business, then I wanted to learn how money works, what money is and how it works. And then that snowballed into the financial markets. Then that snowballed into the foreign exchange market. Then that's snowballed into getting into crypto. And all of those things were to fund something that I love to do.
Yeah.
But because I didn't know I would like that. But because I was just like, let me try this. Let me try something different. It doesn't have to take away from what you love to do. But don't get so pigeonholed. I've watched people literally bankrupt themselves because they refuse to do something else, because that window has changed. Because there was a window for me where I was no longer touring and no longer doing those things. I was doing TV and film and placements. And working a job and then turning that into a business, and then balancing the two, and then balancing the three, and then now the tough thing is balancing it all.
Yeah, it's challenging.
It's challenging. So each thing holds its own level of challenges.
Yeah. So keeping, but in a nutshell, starting, keeping going, not dismissing that point in your life where the joy started, the joy happened. Yeah. You talked in the beginning, we talked about you starting writing your first rap at like 13 years old. And you just mentioned that you feel like this is the first time in a long time
since I've been connected to that 13-year-old kid.
Yeah, that you feel like
jumping around like, yo, this is why I got it. This is why I fell in love with this. Jesus,
what do you attribute that feeling to? Like,
oddly enough, because technology, there's so much negativity. The positive side of, food is not bad. It's the abuse of food. Guns are not bad. It's the abuse of it. A knife is not bad. It's the technology. Technology and the internet is not bad. It is the use of it and what we choose to use
or
with
misuse.
Or misuse. the ability to utilize resources that I didn't have then and give myself another chance at it. The technology to be able to do it at my pace, and giving stuff a try. You talked earlier about AI and just AI is the devil and all this kind of stuff, but we all have that. There's always something where don't do that. That's the devil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But utilizing it to where you don't have to call this director and this person and you waiting and they got the letters in the wrong place and all this. Now you can utilize AI, and just utilize the tools.
Treat it like it's a tool.
Yeah. Always remember this, and I hope that a lot of people relate to this. Money and technology are great servants, but they're horrible masters. Money and technology are great servants, but they're horrible masters, and you have to keep it in a servant's position. It is there to serve you. When I used to go to some of the locations in the trucking company, people would talk to you. They'd be out on break. They'd be talking to each other. They'd be playing cards. They'd be doing stuff. Now when I go to these locations, it's 15 people out there, and everybody's is cell phone zombies.
Yeah.
It's like that is being a servant. Every time their phone rings, they gotta check it. Every time it blings, they gotta check it. Doing the whatever for money. So much so to their health is no longer a factor.
Yeah.
That's when you're a servant to technology.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's not
Keep technology and money in a servant's. Excuse me. Keep money and technology in a servant's position. And it doesn't happen one time. You have to do it every day. Scripture says to die daily of the flesh.
Yeah.
We have to constantly keep that phone that is. When I take and I'll leave my phone out purposely at a certain time, put my phone upstairs. I've watched millionaires and billionaires. I've watched a lot of documentaries and a lot of interviews where they say after a certain time of the day, they don't pick up their phone. After a certain, because they keep everything and they have to position everything in its proper place. And that's keeping that thing in its, and you see millionaires and billionaires who haven't done that, where their company ran them in the ground. Yeah. Because they don't have money and technology. They don't have these things in their proper place. They've lost their relationships. They've lost good businesses. They've lost good relationships because they have allowed money or technology to become a master and not a servant. Keep it in a servant's position.
Let it work for
let
you.
It serve you.
Let it serve you. Let it not rule you.
Oh man!
If it rule your thoughts and rule your decisions,
you gotta do it every day. Yeah. I heard a guy say it's just like, and he was pertaining to music, but when I learned it, I pertained to life. He said he's always in the studio, and I ever heard Dr. Dre say, "There's not a day that I can remember that I wasn't in the studio every day." Besides being quality time with my family, he's always doing it. He said, doing music and doing what you love to do is like taking a bath. If you don't do it, after a while, you're going to stink. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And dying daily and putting that technology in its proper place, putting finances in their proper place, putting the, just even your, and man, I watch everything. And I just love your interaction with your wife and your children, and you put everything in its proper place, where it goes. Everything, and we have to master that. We have to try that. We have to do that every day. And I've learned that just because I don't have seven figures in the bank like this man, that doesn't mean that he's learning from me where I've learned to put things in their proper place. I've been taking care of myself, and this is kind of like I'm on my third life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like this is from the music industry to the streets and this, and there are things that these guys are learning from me, and there are things that I'm learning from them, and nobody has just arrived. Yeah,
we're always still headed to the destination.
Yeah, we're always on the destination. I was watching this guy. He said they were interviewing him, and they were on his private jet, and they asked him, "What do you feel like is one of your biggest accomplishments today?" And he said, "I mean, this is the weirdest thing in a good way." He said, "I made my bed today." He was like, "I'm just so concentrated on getting those little wins." He's like, "Man," and he was like, And then they said, what haven't you accomplished? He said, I got the multi-million dollars. I got my private jet. He said, but last year I wanted to be at this weight, and he had just turned 50. And he said, in his mind's eye, his vision was to go into his 50th birthday party with his six pack, and he's like, man, I didn't make it.
Did everything else but that.
He did everything except lose that weight there when he's still on that journey. He says now he's stretching, he's meditating, he's going as he's traveling on his private jet. He's stretching, he's doing push-ups, he's doing certain things, and his goal is to still lose that weight. Like everybody's got their crosses to bear.
Yeah.
Everybody's got those things that they need to overcome and accomplish. And we have to keep these things that are aiding us in the proper place. Money and technology, you got it every day. If you don't keep it, you can do it. You know, sometimes we go, oh man, I ate good for a month.
Yeah.
How am I eating cheeseburgers all over again? And how did I gain this weight? Because you got to do it every day. If you don't do it, eventually you're going to look up, you're going to stink. Yeah.
Powerful message. Powerful message. I hope that helps somebody because it's definitely helping me.
Yeah.
Definitely helping me. You've been blessing me a lot, Petty. Hopefully he's been blessing you. We're going to wrap up real soon here. I got just a couple more questions. This is to get the audience a piece of your mind and a little bit more motivation and encouragement. You drop some nuggets. But if there was a phrase or a word, a scripture, a mantra, or something that you would tell everyone if you knew that they would take heed to it, if you knew that everyone you told this to would take heed to it and actually do it, what would you tell them? What would be that phrase or that scripture or that word that you would give to everyone?
If you ever want to make it in anything in life, we'll start with the hard things. Start with your hard. Start with hard. Start with hard. If anything that you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you can't make it with your health, you can't make it. Start with the exact thing. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago off camera. Start with the things that you don't want to do. You'll be amazed. I tell my children, do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. Start with your hard. I don't care if you're supposed to get in that garage. If you're trying to get in that room, or you're trying to start with the thing that you're least likely to do, and you'll be amazed at how far you can achieve of starting with your hard. And it's not. See, that's boring. That doesn't get a lot of views on YouTube. That doesn't get you to that place, but it will get you to that six pack. It will get you to dropping that album. It will get you to, and then you'll start thinking about, when you start with your hard, you'll realize you're behind on promises that you made yourself.
Explain that.
When you start with your hard, bro, you'll recognize that there were promises that you made to yourself that you never accomplished, and you got a whole stack of stuff. Before you even get to the dreams, you got to start with the premise. Ooh, thank you, Lord. Before you get to the dreams, you got to start with the promises
that you made to yourself.
You got a closet full of promises that you made to yourself.
Yes.
What good is it to make six figures if you can't climb the stairs?
Yeah.
What good is it to make six figures if you don't have a great relationship with your children? What good is it to have 6 or 7 figures if you can't keep your word? Or what good is it to be in that place and when you get tempted or temptations that you can't overcome? Or what happens when somebody has tried to cheat you out of $25,000, $30,000 and you can't hold your temper?
Yeah.
There are certain things, that promises that we made to ourselves that we must keep to ourselves, and then we start with the heart of the promises that we made to ourselves, the promises that we made to other people. Then we can get to our dreams. Because I'll use myself because I haven't arrived. Promises that I've made to myself is that the average person will look at me and say, "Oh man, you're in great shape," but not to the shape that I desire. Because when I'm in great shape and my heart is pumping like it needs to, man, I'm more productive. I'm less tired. I'm less anxious. When I'm eating with my health, I can tell when I'm out of sync with the Lord. It shows in my diet. Some people, they deal with porn, or they deal with this, or they deal with drinking, or they deal with this. It always starts to show in my eating habits. Always.
Yeah.
And I have a small frame. And so when I gain weight, it goes straight to my gut. So I end up looking like a lava lamp. So I'm small at the top, big in the middle.
It took me a second
Yeah,
to download that
yeah,
image, but I
Yeah,
got
you know, if you our age, you know what a
you know what
lava
lava
lamp is.
lamp is.
It's small at the top, big in the middle. Then I end up having to hide it. You know what I'm saying? Because you look funny. You built funny, so it's like you can't. So then I end up wearing clothes that's not. So now now I'm looking in the mirror, and now it's affecting it's snowball. Now it's affecting my my self-esteem. Now it's just a little bit of weight, but it's affecting my energy level, my self-esteem, just a little stuff. So now I got to keep that promise to myself. Hey man, when you eating healthy, you hitting on all cylinders. So when you're eating healthy, thank you, Lord. When you're eating healthy, you're firing on all cylinders. When you're firing all cylinders, you hit the studio. When you hit the studio, you make that beat that you promised that guy that he's waiting on. When you make that beat that you promised that guy that he's waiting on, then you're so excited. You make that beat that you always want to submit to this person that you met and said, I would love to produce for that person. So promise to myself, promise to somebody else, and then dream.
And
you can't skip.
You cannot skip it.
You can't skip it. There's this guy, and I hope he sees this. He's a dope MC, underground MC named Omega Sparks. And he does TV and film and stuff like that. He's dope. So when I was initially doing the beats, I was hitting on all cylinders. So when I exercise and I'm eating right and I'm hitting on all cylinders, and I did a beat for him, I was like, okay, now I got to program it and I got to do this and I'll get it over to you. That's a promise to him. There's a gospel rapper named Tadashi. He's on Lecrae's label. Super dope. I've always wanted to produce for him. So you have promise to myself, promise that I made, and dream. It's unfair. I won't get to the dream. I have to make a promise, keep the promise to myself, then the promises that I made, and that gets me to the dream. Because once I start cranking out beats, I know me. Once I start cranking out beats, then I'm going to do that one. I'm going to knock that one out. I knocked out his, then I make that promise. And it's not just music. You can make that promise. That person who wants to start their cooking channel, before you start that cooking channel, you promise some bake.
Somebody that was gonna make something.
Keep your promise to yourself. Then go back in that closet and look at those promises that you made to yourself. Then start achieving those. Then keep some promises that you made to other people. Then it opens the doors to the dreams.
Because when you keep those promises in that scenario, in that analogy, and I know this can apply to anything, but that particular analogy, when that person as a baker wants to go back and start baking for other people that they told they would bake to, they're gaining experience, they're gathering supplies and resources, recipes, and things that they can use in the future when they actually start this, when the dream becomes realized and the business is actually tangible. Now you're experienced, you got resources, you got a backing, you got people that are screaming about your product, all because you started and following through with the things that you said you was going to do for yourself.
And
or
excuses,
other people.
And excuses kill dreams, man. Always remember this. Excuses, there are legitimate excuses, but always remember this. Because what happens to that baker or that person? Oh man, I'm so sorry. Just life didn't happen. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to get that to you. I was supposed to bring those pies over, but this happened. My car broke down. This, which is true. I lost my job, and this happened, and this happened. And then that person goes, yeah, I'm sorry all that stuff happened to you. Don't worry about it. But guess what? Excuses will give you everything you want except results. Excuses in this life will give you everything you want except results. You got the past, you got the forgiveness, you got the compassion, you got the, I'm sorry that happened to you, and you got all that.
You got the understanding
and everything, because it was legitimate that what happened to you, but it didn't get you results. Excuses will get you everything you want except results.
I love that. That's a word in and of itself. I asked you for a word that you would tell everybody, and that wasn't what you came up with. You started with
start your heart.
Start with your heart. But excuses will get you everything you want except for results. We're gonna get you out of here on this, Petty. We've been here for a long time. I like to do this with everybody at the end of the episode. and it's just kind of a bonus content question. I call it "What's Your Rush?"
Okay.
Okay, so "What's Your Rush" is as in Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore,
Okay.
you know, it has 4 iconic faces,
Yeah.
images on it, and so my ask to you is just, what is your Mount Rushmore of the 4 most inspirational people to you along your journey?
Ah, man. That's a hard one. Because my life has been so, we talked about my life in the categorized in categories.
Different
Yeah.
phases.
Yeah. I would definitely have to say my Mount Rushmore of people are not. I would say they're not people that you would know.
Mm-hmm.
They were people behind the scenes that built where I am now. And initially, you know, for content's sake, it's cool to have that Mount Rushmore that. So I would have to have 2. I would have to have one that people recognize and then one that people don't recognize. I would definitely have to say my mom. A reason being is because I've heard stories about people who said, you know, I had family members that said I wasn't gonna make it, and this. She had me believing I could do anything. No, you know, because I used to be an artist and draw, and everything that I put my hands to, she would always. We lived in the projects, you know, food stamps, the whole nine, and everything that I did, she just was always legitimately amazed, you know, about anything that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I never heard during my years that I couldn't do anything. I never, and the only person I ever heard say that, I know there are probably other parents that's like that. The only person I ever heard say that was Kanye about his mom, and that she always supported me. You know what I'm saying? Now she never bought me any drum machine. She never did, but her support of me was just her words of "you can do anything you want to do" was just, I never heard I could not do something.
Yeah. In your mind, if it came to your mind, you could do it. Yeah.
There was nobody in my circle of people that said that you can't do that. By the time I heard that, it was too late.
Yeah. You was convinced. You lying to me. I already know what I can do.
Yeah. Mom, dad has always been a skeptic. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, but he set templates for me as a father for 2 things. We bumped head for years. We were roommates for a long time, but he showed me entrepreneurship. First time I ever seen like true entrepreneurship was through him having his lawn service. It had got so successful to a point where he had, you know, this might not sound big to nobody else, but, you know, 2 trucks, 2 crews, you know what I'm saying? That was a big deal back in the hood. And he always showed me entrepreneurship. Then he was a janitor at night. So he owned his own business in the daytime and was a janitor at night, still working. And some of the people I would watch how they interact with him as a janitor, but even as a kid, I'm like, man, they just don't know.
Yeah.
My dad paid.
Really know who he is.
Like, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He doing this thing. He's getting these benefits, and we clean up like, you know what I'm saying? I used to clean that place with him. Yeah. It hit different. Like, you know, young people say hit different. Like, man, y'all don't know. So it's like he getting money hand over fist in this situation, like that entrepreneurship. So definitely mom, dad, and I would have to put all my pastors, all the men of God who shown me the way to lead in ministry. You know, I've got 3 pastors, but I can't put them all. Mount Rushmore is like what, 4 or 5 people?
It's 4.
4.
You can lump them in one if you
want
to.
My pastors. So I would say my mom, my dad, but you know, because they couldn't give me what the average person would say was necessary to make it, but they put me in those positions that showed me, put me there and I get it myself. Yeah. I learned that, put me there and I get it myself from my dad. Okay. Oh, put me there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Just
put me there. Give me the opportunity, I'm gonna get it. Yeah. That started at the record store.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Get me there, and I'll make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Started with grits.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the opportunity. Bring me the time. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
So I'm still living in those. My family's still benefiting from my mom saying you can always make it. My dad showing me that, and he was the first person to see that I was serious about music.
Mm-hmm.
And I never forget this. He paid $500 to get my first demo made. And he was like, but the rule is I had to do before Christian rap, I was like, Black Power. I was a Black Power rapper. It had to be positive.
Yeah.
And he invested in it. And I always tell him all the time, you were the first person to invest in it, and I'm still benefiting from that. My pastors, and I would say Maurice Henderson, who was a guy that I went to school with, and he was just super cool. And when I first went to say I'm going to be a gospel rapper, and those guys laughed at me, and I found a new studio. He was the engineer at that new studio. And when I walked in, I was like, yo, I went to school with this dude. And I was like, yo, I rap for God. Now I'm a Christian. He was like, me too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how we started. And he said the Lord spoke to him and told him to record my first album. And that's how the first label started.
Yeah.
So, and even though we're the same age, he had a mom and dad that were believers,
Mm-hmm.
and a pastor
Mm-hmm.
that supported him, which just ended up being my pastor. And he just had wisdom above his years, and one of his wisdom was make one move that's worth 10. It's like, look, Petty, we don't have the budget to do this, and we don't have the budget to do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back out and make one move that's worth 10. It's like, yo, instead of you setting up 10 concerts, that's 500, that's 50 people there, you know what I'm saying, or 10 people there. Let's back out, do one concert with 100 people there, 200 people there, 1,000 people there.
Yeah.
Always make one move that's worth 10 moves.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so my Mount Rushmore of behind the scenes people are people that were pivotal in my life, the benefits that I'm still living and applying now.
Yeah.
That's what is helping Village King.
Yeah.
So my mom, my dad, my pastors, if I were my pastoral leadership, and Maurice Henderson, in the public eye, I would say, basically Warren Buffett, definitely Warren Buffett because of his humility and his willingness to try new things. When I began on the financial journey to know why money is, not just what money is, that to follow him and to know why money does what it does, I would definitely say Warren Buffett. I would definitely say, Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Warren Buffett, Dr. Dre.
Production inspiration.
Yes, man. Outkast, that whole Dungeon family, that whole Goody Mob, that template. That was a template to know. Those guys were the template for me to know how I was going to say what I wanted to say in my music. I know what I know what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how I wanted to say.
Were you inspired by Dre's statement, "The South got something to say"?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because then it's like, now we got something to prove. These guys won an award and y'all booed them. Now y'all been clowning us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all wouldn't, I remember personally being in Florida and New York and LA record labels coming to the radio stations and stuff, and the record, they had it on lock because of payola, and they would always play the major artists, but they would never play local artists. I've been victim of payola. I had videos on BET and was doing stuff big, and my own local radio station wouldn't play me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I've been victim to that, and it's like, because the mainstream New York and LA record labels and the artists, they had it on lock. So yeah, man, the South got something to say.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when we start having our own voices, it's like, I'm part of this movement.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so definitely Warren Buffett on the business side, because of his tenure in business. And then definitely Dr. Dre,
Okay.
Outkast, that whole Dungeon family to show me who I am today, to show how to say. And then this group called Soldiers for Christ, SFC, was that's what I want to do.
Yeah. That was the spark.
Yeah. And I actually would have been blessed enough, myself and Verbs, to have a relationship with the originator of that group.
SFC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we still keep up with him.
Yeah.
He's wrote books and stuff like that. And so he is on my Mount Rushmore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let me tell you about him. You know what I'm saying? You never heard of Soldiers for Christ, SFC? Let me tell you. This is the first gospel record. What for Pettidee? Wouldn't be no SFC. Wouldn't no Pettidee. If it wasn't Sfc, wouldn't be no Pettidee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? SFC and definitely Grits. I mean, it's Grits.
Yeah, for sure. You
My
got
life be like,
ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. My life be like, ooh. I know y'all heard that song.
Everybody heard that song.
Everybody has heard it. You heard it on a commercial, a movie, a video game, or something. I know you heard it. You might not know who it is, but it's the Grits. Teron Carter,
and Stacey
Jones.
That's
the
Coffee
Grits,
and Bonafide.
Coffee and Bonafide.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, just real short, I was talking to my son plays basketball with a kid, and his stepfather, so to speak, is a barber. Well, he cut Stacy's hair.
Yeah.
And he was telling me one day, he was like, "Hey man, you ever heard of the Grits?" And I was like, "You mean the gospel rap group Grits?" I was like, "Yeah, I know the Grits." He was like, "Man, you ever heard this song, man? I know you heard this song before." And I was like, "Ooh, wow." He was like, "Yeah, that song. You ever heard that song?" Yeah. I was like, "Dude, that song is everywhere."
It's everywhere.
And he just didn't know. He'd been cutting Stacey hair for years.
And didn't know.
And he knew he was a rapper. He knew his MC. He knew he was a gospel rapper. He just didn't know that song was Stacey.
They got platinum and gold platinum.
He like, that's your song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to Teron and they were awarded their platinum plaque for it. And he was like, the good thing about it, Teron said, the good thing about that is that people don't know it's them. Mm-hmm. The bad thing about it is that people don't know it's them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But people know the song. So it's just like, yo, it just
kind of gift and a curse, but
yeah.
It's definitely a blessing.
But I mean, they lived it.
Yeah. Yes, they did it. They lived it. They recorded that. They traveled around the world with that song.
Yeah. Y'all might not know me, but I mean, man, we lived it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to experience that.
Yeah. I need to get, Teron and or Stacey on here. Definitely Teron, man, because that type of stuff, everybody who's heard that song, most of the people, because that song is so big, but it's a gospel record, most of the people don't have a clue
who the artists are.
Ain't never seen the images, the picture. If they put two pictures in front of them and say, if they put 10 artists and all of them can be famous, they could be the most famous people you ever seen, and throw Teron and Stacey in there and say, who sing this song? They wouldn't even know who to pick.
Right. And it's the crazy
and they know all them other people.
This the crazy part. The very guy the first voice you hear on that song is the guy hair he was cutting. My life be like, ooh. That's Stacey.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's the first voice that you hear.
And he didn't even realize.
He didn't realize
it was Stacey. Stacey do a lot of, he did dope with the hooks.
Yeah.
He dope with right, man. Pettidee, man, this has been a great, great time, man.
Yeah.
This is more than, this is a brotherhood. This is a relationship. This is a friendship.
Absolutely.
A partnership in different ways. But I appreciate you being here.
Man, thank you for having me.
It was a long episode, but I didn't feel like we was sitting here for 4 or 5 hours. I feel like we was talking and like, damn, we done.
We done,
So man, thank you for being here.
And if you gotta break it up, feel free. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do part like you
Hey, put it on pause. Come back to it tomorrow. Finish the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I might even break it up and make it 2 episodes.
However y'all want to do it, man.
Before we got out of here, I wanted to give you the platform and to talk. Let people know what's going on with Pettidee, where they can find you, anything you got coming up. What's up with Village King? Let them know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Right now we're working on Village King side B. Village King side A is out now, everything that we do is you can just Google it. I think that's the easiest way because everything comes up instead of just doing Instagram or .com.
And it's Village KNG.
It's Village KNG. If you have Siri, she won't do King, Village King. You have to do, you say, Siri, play Village KNG. When you Google us, you can Google Village KNG. Everything comes up. My stage name is Pettidee. P-E, it's all one word. Pettidee. Just Google that and everything comes up. The albums, the Instagram. And, you know, we're just going to keep dropping music. We're going to keep dropping content. We're going to keep loving on people. We're going to keep doing what makes us happy. We're going to keep inspiring people.
That's what we're here for. Revisit Your Dreams. This has been another episode of Revisit Your Dreams. I want to remind you again to subscribe to this channel. Share this episode. I know that you know somebody who can benefit from something that we've shared today. So share this episode. Like it. The more you like this episode, the more people we have like it, the more that it gets exposed to other people. And the whole purpose of this is to benefit others. We've had a long conversation. This has been a friendship, and I've been fed. But the whole purpose of it is to benefit those of you out there watching. So please like, please subscribe, please share. Also, again, these shows will be aired every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Revisit Your Dreams channel on YouTube.com. We will also air intermittent episodes in between each Thursday periodically. So subscribe so you'll be notified when those episodes drop, and you'll also be notified of our special guests that are coming up in the near future. Thank you very much. This has been an episode of Revisit Your Dreams. I'm your host, Still Chill Leroy. This is my boy, Pettidee. Yes, sir. Y'all go revisit your dreams, man. Revisit your dreams. One love. Hey, appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you. Yes,
Good one, man.
Always.
Revisiting my dreams with the king.